Stair-Step Dog Training. We're talking puppies today. We all love them, but they are a pain in the tuchus. They're faster than us with razor-sharp teeth, and they got no brakes. Let me give you a few tips on equipment that you should have on hand when you bring a puppy home. To make the list short, here we go. You need food, a cheap leash, a crate, chew toy, a dog trainer, like me, and some patience. That's about it. You don't need a truckload of toys or to hand your house over to these gnawing little piranhas, because they can destroy a house quickly if you let them. So let's go a little more in depth on the supplies. Okay, on the food, don't be a cheapskate. Get a decent food. You know, don't just get whatever you find at the grocery store, and don't just buy something you saw on TV. I feed Taste of the Wild myself, but there's a bunch of other food out there that's pretty good. You know, you don't feed your kids McDonald's every day, so don't feed that stuff to your puppy. While we're here, let's talk treats too while we're at it. The treats, you don't need them. Now, I'm not saying you can't give your dog something when they go poop in the yard, but just grab you some kibble out of their food. You know, trust me, they aren't going to care. You know, it's already tiny little bites, and it helps you keep from overfeeding them. Now, next thing I mentioned was a cheap leash. I say a cheap leash because a puppy's going to chew on it, and until you teach them not to chew on their leash, then you want a cheap one. Now, don't go out and get some, you know, double layered 1-inch nylon toe strap. You know, if you have a smaller dog, you know, one that's going to grow into be a smaller dog, all you need is about, you know, a little 1/4-inch leash. If you're going to have something that's going to be bigger, then, you know, get something, you know, 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch. This is puppies we're talking about. You know, and then once you have your puppy working with being on a leash and not chewing on it, then you can think about getting a better one. Now, with the crate. Now, this is a no-brainer. Crate train your puppy. Now, you don't have to go through a bunch of different sizes. Get the crate that will work for you when your dog's an adult. Because what you can do is just block it off, and a lot of crates come with a panel for blocking them off. The puppy needs enough room to be able to go in there, turn around, stand up, lie down, and that's it. Dogs are hardwired not to go where they sleep at. So with that, you know, we take advantage of that. You know, chew toys, it's simple. I use a couple of different ones with puppies. You know, something softer, and then I have something hard. You know, that way with the mood that strikes them, sometimes they might need something a little harder to chew on because they're teething, or, you know, sometimes they need something softer to chew on because their gums hurt. So, you know, I've used like Nylabones and the Kong toys. That's what I've used. So make sure that you know, got something for them. Plus, if they start chewing on the wrong thing, since you have a leash on them, you can stop them and give them the proper thing to chew on. So, okay, now that brings us to patience. This is the hardest thing to have because they'll drive you nuts. One of the things that helps is keeping your puppy on a leash. That way they can't get into trouble. Or if they start to get into trouble, you're sitting right there with them. So you can stop it quickly and you know, hand them the right thing to chew on, or rush them outside to the bathroom. Because you're right there. That's why we use a leash. You know, and when they're not on leash, put them in their crate. So that way they're safe. They're not going to get into trouble. It's like using a playpen for a toddler. Because sometimes, you know, you just got to have that margarita moment because they're driving you nuts. Now, that'll help with your patience. But always remember, your dog doesn't know anything. Period. If you didn't teach it to them, they don't know it. Oh, dog's still pooping in the house? Hey, did you teach them to not? And if you say you did, then apparently you didn't do it good enough. So you got to revisit it. You know, but expect these dogs to not know anything. They're puppies. They're toddlers. You know, you don't house train a toddler in a week. Well, you ain't going to house train a puppy in a week. You can make arrangements to where they get out, where you minimize what they do in the house, but it's still probably going to happen. Just like with some things, you're going to probably lose something to this puppy that you don't want to lose. Be prepared for it mentally, so that way you don't get mad and excited. You know, if you want a calm, steady dog, then you have to be a calm, steady person. So, you know, take those tips as, you know, something to think about as you bring your puppy into the house, and train on, good people.